So it looks like spread with a single back. A handoff up the middle. Probably a gain of a yard or two there. Gain of a yard, I'd say. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 for Western Australia.
And New South Wales starting off with a nice conservative one deep coverage. It's always good to see people just get their footings in games like this. There's a lot of rookies out there, even a lot of rookie coaches.
So the front 7 of New South Wales up to the task there. Second and a short 9. Hand off up the middle.
Number 2, Vince Villicano on the carry, just looking for daylight, not quite getting out of the lineback layer. It's going to bring up third down and probably about 5 yards, 6 yards.
And in on the tackle is Josh McCarthy.
Yeah.
Little hitch route there, successfully completed. However, there is a flag on the play. So for those who are new to the game, the yellow flag means that someone's done something wrong. And it has to be assessed, and the officials will come to us now and they will make an announcement as to what that penalty is.
I think it's a good part of American football that the game doesn't necessarily get stopped, sometimes by accident. So they can throw the flag saying that they think that they saw something. We've got a call of ineligible downfield, which means that they had a lineman that was downfield doing some blocking that he ought not to be doing. New South Wales taking the penalty, which will be replay of the down, 3rd down and 6 still.
And this is a common penalty that you'll find in this modern style of spread offence with run-pass options and so on. Linemen quite often have caught downfield simply because of the nature of the play. Oh, broken up nicely there by the New South Wales secondary.
Well, we had Siobhan going instead of for the short route. He went long this time and the safety came across in cover. Gee, that was a real near thing for New South Wales to get an early pick. 3 and out effectively for the WA team, bringing up 4th down.
10:27 correct.
So, should Western Australia punt, we get to see New South Wales offence. And a good stand there by New South Wales defence.
Was that a bounce?
Nice little chip kick too.
And out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, New South Wales on the 22.
One of the things that we will try and do, as Pete Toss mentioned just a few moments ago as well, try and bring some of the ideas and the thoughts and a little bit of education. So for the old hands out there, you'll certainly know what we're talking about. But for those that haven't watched the game before, hopefully you'll get a little bit of an insight into some of the things that we talk about during changeover. We're also going to bring some tips, especially for the girlfriends and relatives, and maybe offer you some questions that you can ask or comments that you can make to make it look like you were watching.
So New South Wales come out in a split back formation. Dive play up the middle looks to be part of a triple option. So the triple option, for those that are new to the game, and for some of you young folks, probably haven't seen too much of this in the past. It's an older style offence, but it's very effective. But basically what it forces the defence to do is to play assignment football on defence. So people can't bail on their responsibility until they're sure of where the ball's going. So the first thing to do on defence is to stop the dive. And in that case, they made 2 yards on the dive. And there's flags fly quite well. Could be a false start on the offence by the look of things.
Pete, I'm seeing a really flat two deep, cover two defence from the West Australia. Is that cockiness or is that...
I reckon they want to stop the run, mate. What do you reckon?
And that's the run. I'd like to see the New South Wales team establish a run, get some confidence and just get to half-time with the ball moving on the ground.
That's right. Well, having the safeties up close to the line of scrimmage, of course, it means that they can get into run support very quickly. So if they see two backs, I think they might well come up and play tighter to the line of scrimmage.
Play action passes looking good too.
Yeah, it'll get there. So a gain of about maybe an inch or two on that play. No, it was a good run. It was a gain of about 3 yards. So it's going to bring up third and a long 9 now for the New South Wales Wolfpack. The ball placed on about the 23-yard line.
Well, this is your opportunity, folks, to be the coach. I'm going to start this off with Pete Toss. If you're at New South Wales, third down and 9.5 yards, what are you calling?
Punt.
Punt.
They'll never expect it.
I'd call it DPI.
DPI.
Yeah, well, that way you get 15 yards for the defensive person.
Outside.
Shuey dropping back to pass, rolling out of the pocket, looking for his receiver, and delivering the ball into a pile. And it's Eamon, the big easy, takes the deflection and scores for New South Wales.
Well, sometimes you take points however they come, but that was a great example. Coach Vaselli would have had his guys ready and up for this game, and one of the things that happened there as they came back for the ball is there were 2 other New South Wales players there watching, alert and ready for the ball.
Exactly. It's not over till it's over, and the big easy there took the ball all the way, took advantage of that tip ball. So great job there by the Central Coast Sharks, tight end / every position.
/ convicts at Nuggets.
There you go, baby.
Good coaching shines through. Beats your punt on third though.
I always say I want to see the playbook on that one.
Yeah.
I'll get your sketch.
Yeah, I know. But because they instinctively.
So, with the successful point after, it's 7-0 in favour of New South Wales. So, a great start, a fortuitous bounce, as they say, a bounce off the receiver's hands. However, you take it any way you can get it. And then the big man still had to rumble and stumble all the way to the end zone, which he did quite well.
I'm just happy, Coach, that they didn't punt.
Well, you know, no one said I was an expert.
Well, interesting start of the game, 8:28 to go in the quarter, and New South Wales are up 7-0. I don't think anybody around the country would have seen this coming.
Nobody would have expected that. So it's a great start by New South Wales. They just need to build on that. And as we know, Western Australia are always a strong team, and it's not going to be over till it's over. So a shortish kick there, which...
Brant Honda on the carry. We've got late flags. Brant Honda on the carry number 1, and we've got some flags on the play, so that means we're going to have a talk about what happened. In special teams, there's a lot of rules that protect players and make the game a little safer, and we'll see what happens when they make an adjudication.
Sam Akalides there seemed to be in on the tackle on that one, along with a bunch of his teammates. So
We've got a personal foul face mask.
a personal foul face mask call against New South Wales. So that gives the Raiders, the West Australia Raiders, very good field position
Another 15 yards.
to launch their second series of plays. And field position is obviously what this game is about. So starting around midfield is a pretty good spot to be in.
So they're in breach. They didn't call the huddle within 10 yards.
No, it's got to be inside that one, not that way.
Oh, is it? I thought it was the depth as well.
No, it's sideways.
Okay, West Australia gone back to exactly the same spread formation. New South Wales once again in one deep, looking for some tough yards. I think number 65 for the West Australia is going to get a tackle assist for that as he stopped the forward progress of the runner.
And Jamie McGrory in on the tackle for New South Wales, solo tackle. McGrory, of course, a product of the junior programs throughout New South Wales, and a great player. Coming up with a good tackle there. So once again, probably a gain of, although it was a good gain on the play, probably about 5 yards or so.
Second down and 5.
And there is a call for a fumble. We'll have to wait and see what the officials say, but they may say down by contact.
I think the ball was down as the whistle came and it went through. Vince Villicano with his first carry for the night.
So that's a third down now. It was called down by contact. Great play by the front four there for New South Wales. Equal to the task on that run play.
Nervous time for the rookie. Well, West Australia seem to be passing with a bit of confidence. They seem to think that down the channels there's some open space. I'm not sure that that's quite there yet in the game. They need to establish the run, is my thought.
Yeah, I think Ben Lucas, though, was in good position there. Looks like they're running in cover 3 of sorts, and he's responsible. He's responsible for a deep third on that play, and he was there to make the play.
Was that cover 3? There should have been.
And the ball is into the end zone for a touchback. So that means it'll be New South Wales ball on the 20.
Well, you be the coach. New South Wales came up with what was a fortuitous play. That was their being on the line.
It's in their playbook. I've seen it.
You've seen that play in the playbook?
Yeah, I've seen it,
First down and 10, New South Wales with the ball on the 20 as we come out once again with a brand new drive. 7-0 Wolfpack over the Raiders.
So what we saw on that play was the second option, which is the quarterback keeping the ball. So if he makes a read and he thinks that the dive is covered, the quarterback will pull the ball and then carry it himself as a potential ball carrier with looking to pitch the ball should defender threaten to tackle.
West Australia right there with the outside linebacker covering that running back really had that play under control.
They do. They're playing well against the option, and that's why I think maybe the safeties were caught up a little shallow on that play that they scored on. Oh, unfortunate fumble there. Fullback running a little high on that play, and the defender's able to get a helmet in on the ball.
I think it looks like number 50 for the Raiders, Nicholas Wilkinson, got the fumble on that.
And John Mau was the ball carrier on that play. He just probably just run a little high for this option. These fullbacks are known to run, with hip height. They run through very low. They've got to protect the ball, and unfortunately on that one, he was just a little high, and the defenders were able to get a helmet. It make a great play and get a helmet in on the ball and knock it out.
Well, pressure time for the coach and the players of the Wolfpack. First down and 10, the Raiders looking to score.
Once again, run up the middle. They persist with this running game. They must see that they, like you said, Mike, they look like they feel they want to establish this running game so they can build the passes off that, because I know they have a great passing game and they have traditionally had a great passing game, so they probably feel they need to draw up the defenders a little more to open up the longer passing.
Yeah, once again, Vince Villicano this time holding onto that ball and looking after it very carefully. Well, after going backwards and forwards then several times, I don't think he quite knew where he was going to go.
It seems he's just short of a first down there.
I think it's Blake Marklew on the carry, 3rd down and 2, and this really gives some opportunities, especially considering when field goal range. Do they go deep and have a go, or do they just get that first down, Coach?
Get a first down. Yeah, get a first down, get another 4 downs, and then another 4 downs, and still a lot of game left, right?
Might be a penalty, will get them a first down.
Possibly draw the defence offside. No, they've gone out for a quick swing pass, knocked down by 58 there.
I think the speed at which that play happened, I think some of the New South Wales players just weren't up to the line of scrimmage. One might have even been in the neutral zone.
Timmy Clulo getting big on that play, knocking the ball away and making an incomplete pass. So that's a great play by the defence. Clulo giving us a big edge there on New South Wales end, and taking away that alley to the quick screen pass.
They don't look like they've gone to a kicking formation. They're coming after that, either the first down or they're going to go all the way. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what Tony was signalling.
So they've got trips here. Trips to the left, pitch play to the outside. And it seems to be just short. Good job by the defence.
Be interesting to see where they spot this. This is possibly going to be a measure. New South Wales flowed fairly well and fairly evenly towards that play, which is what we like to do, and certainly on defence.
Giving him 2.5.
They've given them a first down.
They have given them 2.5 yards on that carry. That'll bring up first down and 12. First down and 12. So still another chance for first down, as Coach Toss was talking about earlier.
Yeah, first down, absolutely.
First and 10 on 12.
First and 10 on the 12-yard line. Clever little play, a swing pass to the opposite side of the field, away from the formation.
Vince Villicano has run a little swing play and didn't have a linebacker follow. Somebody's broken down their cover down rules. We do have a flag on the play, and it looks like one of those holding
It's
penalties.
on Western Australia, so
that one's coming back with interest.
that's
Nervous
unfortunate.
time.
That was a great play and deserving of a touchdown. However, if you're holding, I guess it's not deserving, is it?
4:13
It may well have been that play, and people say, well, hang on, why did that hold lead to a penalty? Well, sometimes it happens simply because that player could have been the one that could have made that play, and if we had the replay, we could probably look at that.
Exactly.
So that'll be replay first down. That play effectively didn't happen, but now it's first down and 20, ball on the 22.
So Western Australia has to make 20 yards to get a first down. And this will be an interesting call. No, he's called out of bounds. It was a catch. However, he was out the back of the end zone before he took possession of the ball.
New South Welshman might have ended up coming up and stealing that ball, Alfie Langus style, halfway through.
They've been going after this kid all day. this cornerback, Ben Lucas, he's equal to the task right there. But they've certainly been going after him today.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking at the moment. We had a Lucas running back in 2006 with us. The plumber, remember the kid that brought us?
So, second and about 20. Little jet sweep action around the outside. However, New South Wales are up to the task.
Well, they stayed in one deep cover one then, and so Brant Honda had the ball, a very cheeky, sneaky play, and it went to the right player, but unfortunately with that flat defence, apart from the safety, we were able to stop it.
And Brant Honda, of course, has got a very rich history of having big games for Western Australia. Very talented athlete. Father of the head coach.
I was just about to say the same thing. I think his father, Lane Toyota, is the head coach.
I think all players that have fathers who are coaches are very lucky.
Was his brother from the Benz family? First name Mercedes.
just out of the hands of the intended receiver there. However, he was covered and would have to have made a particularly special play to score from there or to get a first down. So it's
Possibly
going to bring up 4th down and 15.
Possibly going to be a bit harsh on that as a receiver. You get one hand of the ball, you can get two. That's my saying.
Yeah, but you're a hard man.
I thought you used to have chewing gum on your hand.
That was Craig Russell. Craig Russell used to have some residue on his hands. Okay, 4th down, and West Australia, they're confident, they're going for it. They did practice PAT before the game.
Maybe that's what
Looking for the
they're throwing
fake
ball.
down the middle, and we didn't have nothing. The safety
Unlucky.
did take
He
a couple of
did
steps.
have a
It was
potential.
open.
He just needed to lead him a little more, and that was an opportunity right there. However, great job, New South Wales, holding them out.
It's going to be a turnover on downs. New South Wales will get the ball in the 22 and they'll be coming out 1st down and 10. Well, West Australia have shown straight away, even before the huddle's broken, that they're going into that too deep formation. So I think hopefully by now the New South Wales coaches have seen that. Josh, we're going to do numbers. I always get him and his brother mixed up.
So solid run there, gain of about 2 yards, well, close to 3. So 2nd down now on a long 7, short 8.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Despite that broken play which led to the touchdown, West Australia's defence has certainly been up to the task here this afternoon.
Yeah, the one thing about the triple option is that you have to be persistent with it. And it may seem like, you should try and call a different play, but really it's quite often about the execution and about who's blocking who in the scheme. So offensive coaches will come out and run the option and run it and run it and run it against the front until they find the right answer to the blocking scheme.
Stupid shit.
So a little counter action with a couple of lead blockers. And the running back needed to tuck it up inside there. He's trying to get outside of his blockers, which never works. The number 13, the ball carrier there, Adam Simpson.
Interesting option. The safety then, in lieu of seeing this option, he actually ran up straight away with the DB dropping back in a prevent almost defence situation.
Yeah, so they had the backside offensive lineman pulling down the line to kick out, and really the alley would have been inside. However, running backs quite often like to bounce it out.
7 concussion protocol.
Number 7.
New South Wales or
Strong pressure there by the Western Australian defence as they finally get to the quarterback, Shuey. Mark Shoebridge, they bring him down, and that's a big loss now for New South Wales as far as their offence is concerned. Puts them in a tough position right here, 4th down and about almost 20 yards.
Pulled up with concussion protocol.
they'll be kicking now. Number 18 going back, Daniel Strickland. However, we just got word number 7, Denzel Purnell, is being looked at for the concussion protocol as we speak.
So that's how the game's changed for us since the day, back in the day, when Mike and I used to run around. And Miles, people are a lot more conscious of the effects of concussion on players, and it's a good thing. And I think that will be a safety for Western Australia.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen a safety in a state game.
Really?
First, well, certainly a safety that's been a bad snap over the top.
Okay, well, we've got a snap there that went awry by the New South Wales Wolfpack. That's gone over the head of the punter, going out through the back of the end zone, and that means it's a safety. So that's 2 points go on the board now for Western Australia, and they will also get the ball back as New South Wales has to kick off to them. So it's a double penalty in a way, in that you lose 2 points, but you also give them the ball back.
So really it's a 9-point turnaround if they can convert on the rest.
It could be, indeed.
I remember Dave Ward, he actually had playing for Australia many years ago. He did an ACL injury on a bad snap that ended up a safety, and he got his ACL popped in, I think, Germany, was it?
Wow, yeah. So, folks, this game will probably be replayed on YouTube. I don't know if it's going out live right now, but it'll be replayed. So, if you've got any comments, you'd like to leave them at the bottom of the replay. If they're good, we'll read them. If they're not, well, we don't really care, so we're not going to look at them. But by all means, leave your comments there. We'd love to hear them.
Oh, PT.
Of the people, for the people.
That's it.
For the PT.
I think that's the good thing, having a live delayed telecast. You can do things like that.
It's live and it's delayed. You get the best of both worlds. So a solid return there, gain of about, 15 yards on the return?
15 easy yards.
Easy yards. So it's like first and 10 now for Western Australia. And they've got the ball on around about the 30-yard line.
Number of officials out there. Paul Taylor is wearing the white cap, and you can tell the referee, he's kind of like the boss of all the officials, the general or the colonel of the officials. I've got the general next to me, Miles Newman.
So we've got the general right here.
He's been around this game for many, many years. And
many years.
30 years, he just said.
My God, you get less for murder.
Yeah, I know. First with the army team.
So that running game, they continue with the running game up inside there. They must think that there's something that they're just not quite clicking on.
Once again, Vince Villicano with the carry. Tough running, tough yards. But yeah, Miles Newman, in fact, one of the things that many people don't know is he was responsible for putting the submission together for Gridiron Australia to get into the Australian Sports Commission.
He's a good man.
And the Sports Commission people said that they have seen submissions from rugby league, Aussie rules, rugby union, cricket, netball, all sorts of sports. And of all the submissions they'd ever seen, when they received one from Miles, it was the most recent.
A member of the Gridiron New South Wales Hall of Fame too, I might add. And that brings up the end of the first quarter. So they'll change ends, and we'll take the opportunity to tell you about some of the other games that we have coming up in the AGL. So today, of course, Western Australia versus New South Wales. We've also got a game of South Australia versus Victoria happening somewhere in the world. I'm sure they'll cross live via ESPN to that game at some time. 21st of April, we've got Victoria at Queensland. And it's great to see Victoria back in the fold, isn't it? So
it is great. It's been a while. They've been out of the fold, and they've been hotly looked after. In fact, there's no national championships without Victoria.
That's true. So it's great to have them back. They're back. They're at Queensland, and New South Wales is at South Australia. That's on the 21st of April. On the 28th of April, South Australia at Queensland. So Queensland get to play home twice in a row. And they deserve to. They won it last time. So
winners are grinners.
Yeah, and Victoria will travel to Western Australia. That's on the 28th of April. 5th of May, we've got Queensland at New South Wales, Western Australia at South Australia. And on the 12th of May, Queensland at Western Australia, and New South Wales travel to Victoria. So we've got a receiver wide open, and unfortunately,
second down and
incomplete.
10.
So we'll have to see whether they haven't called pass interference on the
second and 10. Looking for number 11, Blake Marklew, and unfortunately, just under throw in there. I think Blake needed to adjust to the ball with his feet a little more once it hit the air.
Once again, poor old Benny Lucas. They're going after him again. And the guy's been equal to the task every time, we have to say.
At what point do you say that DB is better than he looks?
Now? Good time, yeah. Because he's only a little fella.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, he's doing a hell of a job out there, and he's been tested on a lot of plays so far, and he's done a great job.
Third down and 10, coach's call. Punt.
I'll look at that one later.
So a sort of maybe a corner route. I don't know. It was a sort of.
It was kind of it was like a half out, half corner, half
loose wheel ball.
Yeah,
yeah, it could have been something like that. But unfortunately, it drops incomplete. So that brings up fourth down. So will Western Australia punt this time?
Look, they're probably going to pass.
Well, let's hope so.
Question for the girlfriends and relatives to ask the people that know about the game. The question that I'd be asking is, why have West Australia suddenly started passing out of crazy? I mean, there is an obvious answer, which I know Coach Toss knows next to me, but it'll be interesting to see if they know it. So, New South Wales could be very lucky to retain the ball here.
But there is a melee on the field at the moment, people trying to struggle to get to the ball. And I think you'll find that New South Wales may have kept it. See, what happened was the ball touched the New South Wales player, and even though he wasn't looking at it, the ball becomes live again once it's touched.
Absolutely.
By the kicking team. So it'll be interesting to see who regained possession.
In fact, but you'd have to say that's a bit of an error by the New South Wales rookie back there.
New South Wales, in fact, retained possession.
They have retained the possession, but gee, that was lucky. I mean, one of the things that you often hear is get away from the ball. If the the ball can't be picked up by West Australia and forward, only New South Wales on a punt can.
It's going to make it second and 20.
They're certainly playing tough in the box, New South Wales, and making it very hard for them to run.
Well, we've got a holding penalty on the offence. That'll make it second down and 18. New South Wales. This is one of those information things. With the penalties, you don't actually have to accept a penalty. You can hear what the options are and decide what is best for your team at any one position. In that case, pushing the West Australians back to second and 18. In the past, if you're the coach, what we've seen so far from an offensive point of view is West Australia have gone straight to either little trick plays up the middle or long passes.
So we go at second and 20. And this time they have some luck.
Change over the possession, but once touched, as Coach Toss said, that changes all the rules.
Changes.
The purpose of the kick is to change possession.
Love changes everything.
There we go. Expert words from Miles next to us. The purpose of a kick is to change the possession.
I thought it was to waste time and to put ads on. No, that's true. Okay, New South Wales comes out with the ball. Split backs again.
Oh, nice pass. Nice pass and nice kind of...
Nice pass, great pass to the fullback there who got hit but didn't really have much effect on the leg.
That was a hit, but no wrap.
So that's John Malmo. He's a big boy, and he caught the ball there with his back to the defender. The defender gave him everything he had, and Big John just kept rolling.
Well, everything he had wasn't enough.
What's he, the tight end? No, he's not even the end.
No, he's fullback.
It's funny, they've changed their defence back in the backfield, Pete.
So once again, they've gone with a little counter play and a pulling guard.
I think West Australia just looking to be a little more aggressive on defence.
I think so. I think that they're aware of where the ball's going and what sort of offence it is. I think it'll be a little while. I think New South Wales might look to a bit of play action, I'd say.
10.5 minutes to go in the half.
So a little off target there to his receiver, which is unusual for Shuey. He's normally a very accurate passer, looking to hit maybe a comeback or a deep out, and unfortunately just not connecting. So that'll bring up fourth down. Fourth down and about 8.
Max Bethel, number 5, clearly got the message of his cover down rules. He was right on the swing pass on that occasion, forcing Shuey to throw the ball away, having not seen anything he liked. New South Wales looking to punt. We've got a couple of backs. Don't forget, if the ball touches anybody from the West Australia team, it is live, even if it is by accident.
A good snap this time. Didn't go over the head of the punter, which is a good thing. Ball takes a bit of a weird bounce. And
Nice drive.
I think the New South Wales boy might have thought
he was in the wrong sport.
I think he might have thought, I'll regather, chip over the top, regather and pass.
It was a combination of Aussie rules and rugby league, none of which worked because the rule says the ball stopped.
They're just making sure everything went smooth.
It's interesting though, West Australia are slowly grinding about their field position each time. They seem to be getting further and further up the field when they start their drives. We're back at first down and 10.
Yeah, field position. There's definitely a big part of the game. Don't forget also we've got the women's competition, which is also AGL, or is it WGL? But New South Wales Coyote squad, they're travelling to Perth in May. They'll be playing against Western Australia in Perth in May in 2018 as part of the women's competition. And good luck to all the women that play. It's great to see female athletes playing American football. It's incredible. It's great for our sport, and I think it's great opportunities for women to get into American football. And I think they have national teams and they have everything, so I think it's awesome.
I think one of the good things about the girls is that they're coming alive, but they really are passionate about their sport. I think something that the guys could probably take a handle of is the way that they handle social media and things like that.
Yeah, they're serious about their stuff. They work harder than the guys. I think some of the guys take things a little bit for granted and get a bit blasé about it all. So,
say hello to Sally for me.
Cornerback Ben Lucas, he was in quite good position, a little out of phase probably. So,
I think the difference that time with Blake Marklew, he actually used his feet to slow up to the ball, and he saw it a little early. He used his feet to slow up, which actually gave him the opportunity to finish.
We do have a flag in the backfield though, so we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, I think in that situation, Ben Lucas was just a tad out of phase with the receiver, and probably gave him that window to catch over the top.
CJ's called the chop block.
There's a chop block call, which is very much a no-no in American football.
Yeah, that's personal foul.
Where one person's engaged with the block and another person comes in low to assist. And that's, of course, a dangerous position to be in for the defender. So
Half distance, or I'd say.
Probably half the distance to the goal line. So,
folks, that is
a personal foul. Yeah.
It's a personal foul. That's one of the biggest penalties that you can give away, a 15-yard personal foul. And look, the game of American football is actually, despite the physical contact of it, is actually a very safe sport. The rules of the game are there to protect the players, and certainly that chop block is amongst the worst things that you can do.
255. WA.
So Brand Honda there, wide open, makes a catch and makes them pay for it. He gets a first down there for West Australia.
No, he's short. He's short. 5 yards short. 4 yards short.
Sorry, the cameraman was in front of me.
We like to keep you in check, Coach.
That's fine.
One of the things that we will be doing over the course of the rest of this game is saying and making obvious errors. Now we do have a prize. We do have a prize. We've got a $250 sports voucher, and we've got that.
I'll give him a badge.
And if you notice that, just send in fact, you need to SMS those answers in for the obvious errors that we're making to our producer. That was in my notes.
So dropping back to passer completion again to number 11 for Western Australia.
Looks like, Blake clearly. It's interesting. I wonder if they're picking on our DB or if Blake is their absolute go-to guy. Because
I think a bit of each actually, and I think that Ben Lucas has done a pretty good job. Like I say, he's got his money's worth. That's for sure. He's Rego.
Yeah, even at this level, unfortunately, American football in Australia is a pay-to-play. So the players that you see out there, they've all paid for their own airfares, jerseys, pads, helmets, the whole lot. So you can say that if you're playing American football here, you love the game.
We're the only ones making big money out of it.
What, you got 10 cents?
This
time they go after the other cornerback.
Well, Nathan McCann really airing the ball out there. He certainly has an arm. He just needs to hone it in and hook up with some of his receivers.
Just slightly overthrown on that one.
Yeah.
So this is more like the sort of Western Australia offence we're used to seeing. A lot of bombs away stuff, and normally they're completions, and they normally carve everybody up. So.
Is this a sign that the West Australians are panicking at this stage, given where they came from last time?
I don't think so. I think, Coach Honda's he's a smart man. He knows what he's doing. So he's seen opportunities. So I guess you take what you do and stick with it, just as New South Wales are sticking with their running game. Seems that the quarterback might have got knocked around a bit on that play.
A few of the mocks suggesting roughing the passer, no flags on the play, so therefore it didn't happen.
Never happened.
Speaking of payment, have you got your McDonald's voucher yet?
No. No, I had to buy my own this morning, but...
Sorry, I was chatting to Mike.
Yeah, so that was a close call there for both teams. Yeah.
Well, 3rd down and 10, the West Australians with 6 minutes to go, 6 minutes 50 to go, at the line of scrimmage, looking for another desperate first down.
In their familiar spread, and there could well be a false start, I would say, and that'll be a flag. So there's their first down.
Yeah, they just got their first down.
So 77 from New South Wales, of course, came through and hit the quarterback, Martin Ballada. Hit the quarterback after the whistle. He was sort of committed to the hit, but you still got to have a penalty, right? You can't just let...
Oh, absolutely. Well, not only that,
anyone.
He didn't have to hit him with the impact. He could have stood up a little bit.
And what, just half hit him?
Only half hit him. A half hit would have been fine in that case.
But so I'd say it's probably going to be roughing the passer or something, whatever the technical term. As the wind comes up here, this is going to make it tough for Western Australia in their passing game with this wind. I mean, it's ferocious out here. If you have a look at the trees out there. So hang on, we've got personal foul on New South Wales. That's a long explanation. Are they offsetting?
Well, yeah, he's called that offsetting. I was of the understanding once the whistle went, then it was a dead ball foul, so therefore both penalties to be assessed. So
after all that, it's what, 3rd and 10?
Yep.
Okay, 3rd and 10 for Western Australia.
Technically, the play did not happen. We still record the fact that it's not foul. It's called a
Just as we wait for Western Australia to come up. Speaking of Western Australia, the 2nd annual Gridiron Australia National Coaching Conference is on in Perth on the 26th and 27th of May. Great opportunity for coaches to go there and learn about what's happening.
3rd down and 10, a familiar sight. Looking to the left, McCann has thrown the ball.
Just late seeing it, the receiver. It was,
I'm just wondering, New South Wales is starting to get a little bit of pressure, but the receiver for West Australia really was just a little slow in getting his head around.
Seems a little out to me. I think, that actually, if he'd had got his head around a little sooner, it would have been able to locate
and he was open. The route was good. It was just...
Just the receiver wasn't up to it on that one. So this will be interesting how this game progresses, especially with the wind as it is right now. I mean, Western Australia seem to almost be in catch-up already. It's only the 2nd quarter.
I don't know. I don't think they need to be. They look like their running game early. They should have stayed with that.
Although if New South Wales keep returning punts like that, they probably is a good thing. We've got number 2's got some room here. Number 2 is Mitch Kirk, a local lad from Wollongong.
It was one of the captains of the emerging or the rebuilding state team last time around.
Yeah, he was.
Great leader, great tough player.
Works very hard. He's a good kid. So New South Wales 1st and 10 now. They are rather deep in their own territory.
Score's still 7-2.
And 7-2 in favour of New South Wales.
Interesting to see the West Australians now are really taking their sideline meetings with a bit of seriousness. They've come across a lot quicker than they have been, and they are definitely listening.
It's difficult to travel to the other side of the country and play. So sometimes regathering, after that long trip and trying to get everyone focused again is pretty hard. So having done it myself a couple of times, it's a long journey to Perth. But well worth it if you're a gridiron coach, because we've got the 2nd annual Gridiron Australia National Coaching Conference on in Perth.
Okay, New South Wales coming up to the line, second down with that familiar formation that they've got. Another fumble from New South Wales, so ball security becoming an issue.
Well, this is, with the option, of course, it relies on a lot of people doing a particular role without looking for like for example, the quarterback shouldn't be looking for a running back. It should all happen automatically, and that takes a lot of reps to get to that spot. And considering these teams practice, maybe twice a week, it's very hard to get that timing right. It's something that they need to do a lot. So it's, you do have these challenges, even for a simple play like the dive read, understanding that the quarterback's eyes are not often on the running back, they should be on the defenders.
Third down and 14. The West Australia's looking to get a safety here. They've got an extra player up in the box. And it does look like I see the safety signal.
Yes, the safety signal. So another 2 points for Western Australia. So they're going to do it 2 points at a time.
You know what? If you're a rugby league fan, there's a team, the West Tigers, this year. They've been winning games 10-8, 10-8, losing 9-7, a win 11-10. You know what? A win's a win. It doesn't matter if it's 1 point or 50 points, as Coach Toss has often said. A win is a win. You play hard all the way.
Even if you win ugly, it's still a win, right? So great job there by the defence from Western Australia, having great field position to start with, and it just shows you how important that the special teams play is. It's a third of the game, but no one seems to give it the credit it deserves, because right there is, was a return that didn't happen as well as it could, and that put New South Wales in a tough position. So special teams are very important.
Okay, in terms of questions for our competition here today, where was effectively the 1989, the very first national championships played? Just SMS those numbers through to the number at the bottom of the screen.
And where did the New South Wales team stay?
Well, here's a clue. I can tell you that they've stayed at Paraka Football Club.
Good return there by Honda.
I got to start asking the question, why is Brand only playing special teams? Why don't we get him in at running back?
Well, they did have him in that jet sweep play, so who knows where the coach knows what he's doing.
And once again, we've been talking about that field position. They sort of started at the 15 and then the 22 and then just near the 40, and now they're starting with the ball on the 35 going in.
And do they have the wind at their backs here? It's a cyclone, whatever it is, but could well assist.
Into the wind.
Oh, into the wind, okay.
Get the next quarter. Swings down here. Yeah. Run left.
Okay, once again, the money man, Vince Villicano. They've gone back to that run looking very comfortable. I think just shy of a first down by about 3 yards.
Sneaky little play then. Little counter action.
We're trying to avoid
So essentially what the coach has been doing is been running certain plays which have been straight at the line of scrimmage, a little bit of zone action. But now what he's done is he's asked his running back to make it look like one of those previous plays and counter back out the other side. I think defensive coaches will be talking about cover down rules. Well, a very ambitious quarterback keep trying to get those 3 yards on second down. That might have been a passing opportunity that they should have taken, because they do have the guns in the backfield able to make the yards for them.
talking about the pace of the game. We're at play 60.
Sorry?
We're at play 60.
60 already. It's all the passes that stop the clock.
Just another thing too, we've got Junior World Championships coming up this year. And the Australian Junior Outback will be travelling to Mexico for the World Championships.
Well, then with the next game coming up, the next game coming up in Sydney, there's going to be representatives from the Outback. I tell you what, that is a great play by the New South Wales team.
Absolutely. They're just unaccounted for. They're Daniel Pearson coming through, making the tackle, almost untouched. So Western Australia having a few problems matching up with the numbers now, the people in the box, trying to get a body on a body to provide the blocking for that running. But getting back to the World Championships, Coach Luke Chapman from Queensland is doing a great job with our junior program. He took the team to China for the last Junior World Championships, and this year it's going to be Mexico. So it's going to be that's great for the kids that go over and the coaches that get experience, and they'll come back and hopefully that'll spread throughout all the teams across the country, and everyone will benefit from it.
You know, if you're going to, we've got the Sun Devils coming down to Sydney in a couple of weeks' time. Come along to that game. You'll have members of the Outback team. These are junior. These are kids that are developing. They'll have the tins out looking for some donations. So come along to the game. Even if you're not that keen to watch the game, do it just to support these junior Outback kids. They work very, very hard. They're very dedicated. And in fact, Greg Evers, one of the officials that are out there at the moment, I think he's the linesman from memory. He's actually been selected from Australia to be an official with that Outback team.
Yeah, speaking of officials, we've got a whole host of officials that have been recognised for their skills and talents. Australian officials who are particularly going overseas or officiating here at the AGL.
Fourth down at the moment. Fourth down and 5. A big play for West Australia. Let's see if they air it out. New South Wales persisting with one deep cover.
So Honda strong there after the reception.
A zig and a zag. It looked like he came close to putting his knee down. He had his hand and his feet on the ground, but he didn't have a knee down. So he was able to finish off that, bringing up a very, very needed first down.
1st and 10. Now with Western Australia threatening.
3 minutes 56 in the half. 7-4 Wolfpack over the Raiders.
This would be a good time for Western Australia to score, actually, because going into half-time it'll give them a lot of confidence, and it would put them ahead at the half-time break.
Is there an important time to score or not score?
Any time.
Any time is a good time.
But there are times that can be a little disheartening for other teams when they've done a great job and then give up points late.
Once again, it seems a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, and an early throw without getting his head around to see his target is just hindering. If West Australia can just get that little aspect fixed up, I think it could be a very interesting second half.
The danger, of course, with swing passes is that if they don't travel forward, they can actually be called a fumble, because any lateral pass can be picked up off the ground by a defender. So you have to get it just right. If you're not throwing it forward, there's a potential for a defender to pick it up and score.
I remember a very famous swing pass that went backwards against the Raiders one day. Live ball, but the referee blew the whistle.
Well, you pay the right people. Oh, great jump there. Great
bodies all over the place.
Unfortunately, incomplete.
I think that comes down to good all-round football. There was good nerve by the quarterback, good blocking, just a good leap in the air, and unfortunately just didn't get the reward he was after. But again, they're moving away from their bread and butter. That run play was working, and now they're suddenly throwing the ball in.
Good defensive
Third down.
play too.
318 is correct.
So with a single safety, you would expect them to run the rails a little more and to threaten that single safety with 2 receivers, but
So by the rails, what that means is a single safety is like a fullback. He normally starts the play in the middle of the field, back about 15, 20 yards, depending on the set. But that means that his ability to get all the way to one or other sideline is almost impossible. He has to commit one way or the other. So a quarterback with good eyes to look one way and throw back the other can take that player completely out of the play.
yeah, they could look off the safety and throw to the backside or whatever. But however, having said that, they've been doing okay. They've been getting some completions here and there. So I guess the big thing is that you've got single coverage. I mean, anytime you've got single coverage on a receiver, that's a touchdown, isn't it? From
Should
from
be.
what I understand. But
Okay, third down and 10. Still another opportunity for a first down here. Do they go the field goal if they miss? A field goal will bring him into a 7-7 position in the game.
That would be interesting.
Okay, we've got our first time out of the game. So in American football, the coaches, the sidelines, they can actually call a timeout. Sometimes they do it for tactical reasons, sometimes substitution, sometimes just to get a drink of water and upset the cadence. And that's what's happened. New South Wales have used the first of 3 timeouts this half.
Yeah, they're probably going to talk about tactics here because, like we say, there's only 3 minutes left in the half. Western Australia threatening, and it's a third down, 3rd and 10, and they can get a first down, which would give them another set of downs to score. So for those new to the game, if you substitute the word tackle for downs, that gives you an idea of what it's about. So the first tackle and 10, second tackle and 10, and so on for those that are into rugby league and rugby. So basically you get 4 tackles to make 10 yards. Looks the sort of simplest way to explain.
Looks like West Australia brought in Ben Gastrov into quarterback for this last part of the first half, calmly walking to the line to the huddle.
So don't forget the halftime show, folks. We've got the marching band.
Yep. Well, actually, in fact, we've got the marching band from USC have come all the way. I believe they had a bit of a problem. They lost a drum.
They had that accident on the freeway. I think one of the drums fell out of the bus.
That roll, didn't it cause the accident? That's what I understand.
Out and then hit a cyclist that was coming down on that freeway. So
made a big boom, I hear.
Yeah. And the cymbal was loud as well. But so
big play,
at
third down.
And then the parachutists will be in late in the break. Oh, just out of the hands of the
tell you what, that was
a touchdown.
And that was a pass that really should have been caught. That was catchable. It was a lot of desperate play by the New South Welshman.
Good pass. It was in a window, very narrow window to the receiver. Great pass by the quarterback. Unfortunately, just not able to hang on to it. He put a bit of zip on that.
He did. Well, he threw it nice and flat, and that's how he needed to throw that, through that tiny window that he had. It's going to bring up 4th down, and they're looking for the first time. It looks like they're going after that PAT. If successful, it'll bring up 7-7.
And it was that window that we talked about between the corner and the safety that they went after right there. And the kick is wide right.
So, well, that's an interesting call. They've been playing quite confidently, and that last pass was probably the one that got away, I think, for West Australia. They've been building a lot of momentum. Probably have to argue that they've had control of the second quarter. 3 minutes 10 to go, 7-4 the score. New South Wales will get the ball at the 20.
So some of the officials that should be recognised today are Michael Karipis, is it? Karipis?
Yes.
David Main and Jamie Owers, who are going to be officiating in the WAG League, the Women's Australia Gridiron League.
And this is going to the Junior World Championship.
And a good stumbling, bumbling run there, up the middle, eating the clock. Taking time off the clock, so and gaining yards, which is all New South Wales want to do probably. They want to just make some yards, burn the clock, get into half-time and maybe have a talk about some changes that they might want to make.
So is that a negative way to go into the half, given we've got nearly 3 minutes to go?
Not for an option team.
Because the clock's probably going to run the whole way.
I mean, if we're making those kind of yards every time we snap the ball.
We get a flag on the play. Not sure, maybe a face mask, possibly an incidental face mask. Hard to say from here.
I mean, that is the job, the defence's job, right? We've got to stop the dive first, right, on the triple option. So that is the role of the defense. Someone's got to be assigned to that. Stop the dive first. Then stop the quarterback, then stop the pitchman. And if they can't stop that dive, this is going to be a long second half for them. Getting back to the officials, we've got Greg Evers that's going to be going across to the Junior World Cup. David May, Jamie Owers, Greg Evers and Jamie Owers will be going
South Australia.
across to the Junior World Championship.
Well, Matthew
which is
Peterson just
fantastic.
went out, threw a flag, and he's given a sideline warning. So that means that the coaches are just not staying in the designated coaches and players boxes.
Giving you a hard time.
Or maybe they're making a comment. Maybe they're just trying to help the officials.
Well, they probably... We all need to help officials.
Oh, well, I used to.
But only because they get it wrong. Actually, the standard of officiating here today has been fantastic.
So you'll see there, that was actually the result of a pitch play. So they've gone from the dive. They've the quarterback's read that that was a play to pitch on, and the dive track was a little wider on that play. So that's possibly could be a little wrinkle in their offense.
216 is the call. Couldn't see. Nobody signalled whether it stopped properly.
Okay, the clock is running now that the ball's been spotted. I don't know why it stopped then, but...
We need to correct. Went out of bounds and had to get a spot.
No, but he
Second down, about 7 now.
started the clock before on the revenue started the clock.
Little swing pass out here, which is incomplete.
And that's unnecessary.
Well, is there any flags on that play? About the only thing I see down there are some yellow boots from the West Australians, but I think there's a few people
Well,
around
I
the
guess-
grounds that might have thought that was worth a bit more.
I guess they thought he touched it. Time to pay the toll.
Yeah, they are allowed to catch the ball or touch it, but pay the price.
So it's a third down and a long 7 now for New South Wales, with under 2 minutes left in the half. Minute 53 to go.
Game control at the moment becomes a big issue here because New South Wales really need to close this game out, this half out. They need a first down so they can control it. Otherwise, West Australia have plenty of time to get
more
back in.
traditional
Well, there's that.
play then, which is a great play for New South Wales, and they run out of bounds to stop the clock after gaining a first down. So that was a more traditional type play,
47 clock corrected.
straight pitch play.
Isn't it interesting? Instantly, New South Wales went from a situation where they were protecting the clock and trying to end it to now they've with 1:47 and 2 timeouts left, a chance to score some points.
You got to be thinking play action at some time right now.
We talked about it earlier. They got that flat line.
Now's a good time because you wait till second or third down, they're going to be playing it.
I think with that flat defence they're playing at the moment, back over the middle because they've got everybody up. They're in man cover. Everybody's on
I would
islands.
love to see number 7 run a little sluggo route down this sideline.
Yep. And they're quite vulnerable in the middle, second down and 8. But in that formation, if West Australia are going to continue with that, hopefully New South Wales will see it and be looking straight down the middle.
Yeah, looking for the tight end possibly on a little pop, little route straight down the middle. So interesting times here. We've got time out called with just 1 minute 40 left on the clock before half time.
At half-time, we'll be going to the live cross. We've got an interview with Gronkowski. He, of course, everybody...
They got that through, did they?
They have got that through. In fact, the NFL ended up approving that.
Yeah.
And so he'll be with us towards the second half of the halftime
live
break.
from the gong.
The gong. Via satellite. So
Okay,
he'll be live on delay via satellite.
In replay.
Whilst he's on the move. Sorry. Whilst he's on the move.
3 second delay.
We did mention Coach Honda from Western Australia. We should also mention Coach Jason Ray, the New South Wales head coach, who's come up through the ranks, been a junior coach, been a junior outback coach at one time, and coached in ACT and is now at the helm at New South Wales.
Also the president of ACT.
President of ACT as well, apparently. So once again, they go with the sweep play.
Okay, that's going to keep that clock running, which is probably not what they were after.
We probably want to go sluggo to number 7. Can someone send the coach a message?
Yeah.
35?
Whose was the timeout?
36, wasn't it?
Looks like someone's shaken up on the play, number 77? 73.
Okay, we got an injury. Interesting thing with injuries in our game, you can certainly have an injury timeout and the game stops for you, but that means that you must go off for at least one play off, and so
That was
you don't want to just
73
fake
Stephen
one.
Armstrong, who's a prominent member of New South Wales Gridiron.
I think he got painted into a corner then.
Boom, boom.
For those that know him, he is a painter.
That New South Wales wide receiver is a long way in their backfield, isn't he? The guy
Ball.
that just touched the ball in. He's very deep. Like, you know, the
He is.
receivers tend to want to come up and, you know, crowd the line of scrimmage and just be legal.
Yep.
Whereas he seems to be a fair way off
I think
the
he's.
ball.
I think he's quite scared. It was interesting. New South Wales in that pass play, they had two running backs looking for max protection, but
Yeah.
that max protection really needs to get up to the line of scrimmage and form
Can't-
part of the line.
Exactly. You can't block in the backfield. It just cramps the quarterback for room. So interesting that they would go to that particular pass play at that time. Here we are, 4th down, and go for it.
Minute 6 on the clock.
Swing pass,
Get
will he
out,
get a
get
first
out.
down? He's running, bumbling, stumbling, and gets
I think he's got the
down.
first down. Has he gone out? I haven't seen the stop.
The clock will stop while they move the
Well, they
chains.
move the chains, but will it stop? So that means it'll start at the ready if he didn't get out. So an interesting end of this
Clock
2
is
minute.
back in again, so New South Wales either need to
56
get their
seconds
act together
and
or call a
running.
timeout.
They do. They need to. They've got an opportunity here, but they need to think about it, and their
and
players
jogging
need
up to the
to.
line. They need to be sprinting up to the line.
Yep.
They're wasting time here. And is that a
Looks like a
called
touchback.
incomplete? Has it, or a touchback?
I think it's a touchback. I think West
touchback,
Australians have
yes.
picked that ball off a fantastic play. Can't quite
Just
see
managed
his
to
number
stay in
just yet.
bounds.
No, I didn't see the number of the player, but a fantastic job. He stayed with it, always arm distance away from a receiver. That is going to bring up 36 seconds with the ball on the 20. West Australians, be interesting to see what they do. Are they going to shut out this half, or are they going to have a shot?
And that's a good example of staying in phase by a cornerback. So, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we're second guessing the coach now, you know, but I think probably a little earlier in the count would have been a good time to go for a play action, you know, rather than a straight pass play. But anyway, hey, if it comes off, it's genius, right?
Absolute genius. Well, New South Wales back into a very deep, too deep cover. They really weren't set.
So that's more like what we're used to seeing from Western Australia. Those
Absolutely, very good
quick
ball
outs.
control. A quick out stops the clock because the player ran out, which means it'll bring up 2nd down and 4 yards. New South Wales really need to be looking after those gutters and making those tackles inside the field at this point. Clearly prevent on the mind of the defensive coach of New South Wales.
They'll be looking for Batu and Tulu to put some pressure on the quarterback here. The big number 90 for New South Wales is a big unit,
False start offence.
and he may have well caused the false start.
He may well have.
So quite often it's not just how good a player is, it's the threat that the player can be that can force mistakes from the offence.
In fact, it's quite often, especially at club level, you'll see one of those real dominant defensive players, and what it does, it forces the offence to put 2 men to block that defensive play, which leaves a second gap open.
Or forces a false start, or forces a mistake from an offensive lineman. And you've got Clulo on the other end, who's an established player who's played for Australia in the junior competition. That could well be a lateral.
Yeah, I tell you, that was close. A little bit forward just, but incomplete pass. Once again, the clock stops. 3rd down, 35 seconds to go. New South Wales Wolfpack 7, West Australia Raiders 4, as we go towards the halfway mark. Could there be another turnover on downs before this half's over?
Delaney was right on the spot there for that play. I mean, in great position. He would have been all over it. It's probably best was incomplete.
It probably was. West Australia, actually, with their timeouts, if they looked like they were going to go for it, they could afford to, run one up the middle as a bit of a change-up, especially with the safeties as back as far as they are. Maybe get a lead blocker from the ends.
So this is an interesting call. 28 seconds. What does that say when a coach runs a dive?
I think he was looking for the change-up, knowing that they had the timeouts. Even though, ironically, New South Wales have called the timeout. Are they?
New South Wales set time.
Yeah, well, they're feeling cocky now. They're thinking fourth down, we get the ball back. Yeah, we get a shot. So that's a good positive move by New South Wales. I mean, it's a confident move.
It's a confident move, but I tell you, at this level of football, even at club level, 22 seconds, you don't throw the ball in the air.
Let's hope we have a better return.
I think so, yeah. Calling the timeout means that they really seem like they want the football.
Exactly. They want to get it and they want to return it and score before half-time.
Don't forget the USC marching band, the parachutists earned an interview, live cross to the USA for Gronkowski. It'll only be short in the halftime break.
That section is something else, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They're brass. They're ballsy too.
Yeah, they're massive.
I didn't write their material, that's for sure.
Well, we can honestly say we haven't because we're making it up as we go along.
So a lot smarter option here by the New South Welshman, getting away from the ball.
In fact, I don't think there was anybody within 30 metres.
I'm sure his coach spoke to him after the last one and said, do not go near the ball, young man.
Well, 11 seconds remains. I'd like to see New South Wales put the ball on the ground, go in with a half-time lead. How about you, Coach? That's what I would like to see. I'm a conservative coach.
I reckon go spread. Go empty. Let's go empty.
Empty backs. Well, I think in a couple of seconds we're going to find out exactly what the coach has got in mind. Probably tell us a lot about where the team is and the confidence coach has in his players. Going straight back to that spread formation. Actually, it's not spread.
21 personnel. So they're going to throw the ball. Shuey's up. Props. Looks to throw to the sideline. And a completion there.
Well, he's caught the ball, has he? No, they've ruled it incomplete. They've ruled it incomplete. And there's a flag.
There is a flag.
Be interesting to see what that flag is on. I tell you, if it is on the West Australians, it is a coach killer.
Yeah, that would be a tough one to take for Western Australia.
DPI? Defensive pass interference is what I'm hearing in the booth.
So this is quite an important penalty right here to find out what the officials have called. So the smart money is on defensive pass interference, and in fact that's what it is.
Well, maximum at 15 yards, so that's going to be, with 2 seconds to go, New South Wales are going to get a first down opportunity, ball on the 40 going in.
And let's face it, this is where you come up with a trick play, right?
This is where you the groundsman, did you see the groundsman? The marching band was trying to go on the field, but the players refused to yield, We both kicked off our shoes and sang the...
I dig those rhythmy blues.
2 seconds on the clock.
And they're going for a deep pass. Drops back. There's a flag on the play, so probably this will not end well. It looked like...
Well, if it's a defensive penalty, then the play, the half cannot end on a defensive
sort of called
penalty.
A holding call.
Oh, it was a holding area, was it?
Well, it looks that way, but, it's early yet, so we'll have to wait and see. So the half is over, ladies and gentlemen, with that defensive holding. We have to go off the air for a little while because it interferes with USC's broadcast.
We didn't. Unfortunately, they wanted $15,000 US to broadcast the USC.
We'll be back with the second half real soon.
Play the USC marching band off, and you guys can just come in over
Oh, wouldn't that
That's the halftime show. Oh, if you missed it, we've had some communication problems. Sorry.
Well, no, we've really got to start with. We've got to finish the interview with Gronkowski.
It's probably not.
Filming.
I'm making sure the Miles details it's not working.
Well, Mike, that was something else, wasn't it, that show?
Gronk, I can't believe how open and forthcoming he
It was just like he was a local guy playing for the New South Wales League. But, and I think he's a superstar.
Now, did I understand him right? He said he was possibly going to see if he can organise with his team.
Yeah, they want to have a pre-season scrimmage against Wolfpack or whoever wins this game.
But look, I'm speechless, absolutely amazed. If you haven't seen it, folks, make sure you watch the halftime show. It was fantastic.
The replay will be awesome, and the BAM was great too.
Yeah, the parachutist was a little off target. West Australia kicking off. We're into the second half, 12 minutes of the quarter to go. The score does read 0-0, but I can assure you that it's 7-4 in the way of the New South Wales Wolfpack. Certainly the first half, Pete, I thought that the Raiders looked a little bit jet-lagged and possibly a little bit underdone.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a long journey over here. Was it 5 hours or something? And then once you get here, you've got another hour or so to get to the venue. So I know when we went to over to Western Australia to play, it really takes it out of you. You don't think it does, but it's just it's easy, obviously, to play at home.
Flying in, playing a game, flying out to West Australia is a tough call. However, we've got first down and 10. New South Wales have the ball.
So much the same philosophy on offense, but look at things just lining up then in a trips look rather than the balanced 21.
I think at the moment, if New South Wales can just keep them nerve, go back to the basics that got them to where they are, look for those opportunities, and when they come, take them with both hands.
Yeah. I think one of the keys too is look to set up the big play, look to set up the play action.
I think on paper it looks like West Australia player for player possibly outnumber and outpoint the New South Wales team. However, the score says something different.
So a pitch play, that's almost like wing T style.
I think that's a good adjustment by the coach. With that option, they were actually flowing and covering all three options quite well after that first mess up, and this is an opportunity to get outside a little quicker.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess it's like an offshoot of that, but as we talked about earlier, that the triple option doesn't happen always on the first play. Sometimes it takes a couple of series to work out exactly how they're defending it so that you can make the adjustments. Right. But that quarterback pitch to the running back, that's old school. That's back to a wing T style.
Come back to that compressed two deep cover. West Australia's good coverage from the offensive line. We got a pick here.
We got absolutely a great play there by Honda, is it?
I think it's Honda.
Yep.
He's in everything.
He's in
everything. It is.
Yeah, playing well. Great eyes. Got into the flat, saw the ball going out of the flat and just undercut it.
Yeah, certainly Honda.
Big play right here for.
Oh, absolutely. That could have been a turning point in the match. Having Honda playing like he's got a Mercedes engine has certainly been an absolute revelation to this game today.
It's just unusual that having stretched the defence laterally across the line of scrimmage, that you wouldn't try to attack vertically rather than, to the strength of the defence. However,
totally agree. They certainly set them up for that vertical because they were so flat. They break that first line and it's a touchdown. Okay, first down and 10. West Australia with the ball on the 30-something yard line. 31. A lot of hard work. I tell you, Vince Villicano is going to have a long trip home this week tonight.
It certainly is. So gain of about a long one on that play. Brings up second down and 8-ish. So as we said, unusual that New South Wales would try to not only stretch them vertically with the run play, but also while they're in that sort of wide set from the defences to try and throw wide rather than get depth. However,
it's interesting, Ben Gastroff in that last play after the handoff showed a little fake, so I wonder if they got something off that play. No fake on that occasion. Tough yards once again from Vince.
And a good tackle there by Pearson.
Third down and 9. Once again, West Australia just seemed to get behind in the down and distance. Keep in mind that for those that we probably should have explained this earlier, you get 4 chances, like 4 tackles in rugby league, or 4 opportunities to get 10 yards. If you get the 10 yards, you get another first down, another 4 chances to get those 10 yards. At the moment, third down and 9. So West Australia, at that point, they've shown their reluctance to go for the field goals. Looking for a long pass once again. A little fake, some athleticism.
Great job of avoiding the sack.
Gee, I tell you, Ben Gastrov was running as if he had gastric.
That's a great job by a big man to avoid that sack.
Bringing up fourth down. Looks like they're... are they going for the field goal?
Well, this is an interesting place. What do you do here, Coach?
Gee, this is...
28 out.
They haven't shown enough confidence to go for that field goal. It's probably too close to punt. They've been able to stop the New South Wales with some confidence. So I'm probably having a shot here.
Yeah, I think go for it. Single safety, they're just... they need to threaten that safety with two receivers.
New South Wales, nice soft cushion. I hope they remember where the first down marker is. Touchdown. Oh, no.
Oh, just overthrown.
I tell you what, that was a fantastic route. He just ran straight past the DB in front of him. If the ball may be overthrown, maybe I'm being a bit harsh there, but we are talking about state-level quarterbacks here. Bit of a tailwind that I think possibly took the wall.
Well, he normally doesn't miss those. He's a great quarterback, and that was just slightly out-thrown. However, it looked like a bender or something, that route that he was running up there. So
what do you mean by a bender, Coach?
Well, he's running on the rail, so he's looking to adjust his route to whether the free safety is, or if it's 2 safeties, across the face of the near safety, things like that. So they both need to be on the same page for that to work.
Oh, there we go. Good blocking.
Good look at the pitch play here. However, West Australia getting into the alley, doing a good job there.
I like the way they
good
flow.
Gain,
aggressively flow. This is the sort of game that you need to watch to look at some of the really good things that are being done off the ball.
Yeah, you got to buckle your chin strap on this baby. So this second down, they've just made 3 yards on that. That's a good run play.
Get another 3 yards on this, 3.5. I mean, really, if you look at the maths, you need 3.5 yards of play. Well, 3 1/3 yards, sorry.
And that suits this style of offense as well.
Oh, looked like a face cage off the top of the helmet there, but
good
no
play by
flags
94
thrown.
there from Western Australia. Avoided his block. Quite often you'll see, if you're watching this film, you'll see on the backside of the play, if it's a run play, normally the backside offensive lineman will try to cut block their defensive lineman. So they'll be down low trying to cut them off to the point, whereas the play side offensive lineman may well take more of an upright stance.
I think if you are a budding defensive lineman out there, one of the things that I always like to talk to D-line about is find the best player on offense, and really he's only got 8 directions that he can go as New South Wales throw the ball into the flat or in the swing route once again.
So West Australia equal to the task there. They picked up that swing route very quickly.
That play was run with great success early, but the West Australia is clearly showing the depth and the level of their coaching. They've made the adjustments. The players are disciplined enough to follow the coach's instructions.
I think they're also keen to play to the line of scrimmage quickly, are not hanging back, so they have a lot of bodies around the ball when you run those sort of short routes.
I think we said it a couple of times, that play action pass might be something as New South Wales 3 and out, 4th down, and they're punting once again.
So a little chip punt that falls nicely there for number 25. Oh, a bit of rugby league, bit of backline action.
Oh, boom, thanks for coming. We got flags on the play. I think I saw a Scud missile go across my face. It came out from behind the cameraman, and I just saw a Scud hit a New South Welshman. Not sure what the flag was for.
Oh, he's a tough kid. He's up and about.
I would have thought blocking the back. Yeah. That's where my money is.
Yeah. every time on a punt return.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the call is block in the back on that punt return, so that'll negate some of those yards that the player made then on that return.
Well, on special teams, you can't. Again, we talk about the safety of the game and how the game is designed safely. You're not allowed to block either from behind, and you're not allowed to block below the waist on these sorts of plays. Any change of possession, yeah. And that includes the kickoff.
And intercepts and everything, so...
Well, it depends on how they call it. If they call it above the waist.
So if you're out there and you haven't played yet and you're about to represent your state in the AGL, make sure you got knee pads, because they're clamping down on the knee pad rule this year. They had there's been a controversy pre-game about someone's knee pads were a little too small.
Where they said the spot was.
Blitz up the middle by New South Wales. However, the quarterback gets rid of the ball. Number 11, great play there. Great tackle there. Good safety.
I tell you,
tackle.
Blake Marklew, I can understand why their quarterbacks are looking for him, because Blake has got good hands, he's got a good route, and he's looking for the green grass after catch.
Good tackle by the safety there. Okay, that'll bring up another first down and 10. The Raiders looking like there's a bit of purpose in their offense at the moment. Don't forget, we've also got the Women's Gridiron League, women's competition, which is state representative football, which is happening in Perth this month, in the month of May, actually.
27th.
27th, probably to coincide with the coaches' conference.
Yep, the week after.
Little screen action.
Over there as well.
That has found a 1-on-1 there for the West Australian team, which is it's hard to make a play when it's 1-on-1.
It is 1-on-1, and he broke the cardinal rule. Outside shoulder containment is a mantra that every defence player should happen. And then what that basically means is if you don't let the player outside, he has to come inside. So even if you don't make the tackle, there's a linebacker, a safety, somebody else that can make the play. Well, he failed on that occasion.
And it's a little different for us Aussies, because we're used to forcing the guy out.
Yes.
Then that's a mistake by the ball carrier.
Exactly.
In this game, it doesn't matter.
Okay, another first down. The West Australia team rolling the ball, looking like they've got a little more polish in their game.
It's almost like they've settled down.
They've settled down, and they've also got a little bit of, I think that's probably a PI right there.
I think it is. Flag hasn't been thrown?
Yes.
Yeah.
They've also got a little bit of variety in their offence there, so that's a good thing.
They have. Tell me, if you were the West Australia coach, Pete, what would you have said to them at halftime?
I would have said, there's nothing in this, we know how good we are, we know how good we can be. Let's just go out and get back on track. It's really, the whole thing is about timing and about adjusting to the travel, getting here, getting into the game. Sometimes, it takes a while for players to meld and to mesh. And, nothing's the same until you face a common enemy. And that could really bring the team together or split it apart, so...
Yeah, I think for the New South Wales coaches, I really like the way they performed. All they had to do in that first half is show that they were willing to turn up for each other. I know talking to the coaching staff during the week, they seem to think that they've got a really good crew and it's kind of come together on that emotional level, which is fantastic. So I would have said, look, they've proved what they needed to prove to themselves now. Go out, enjoy the game and win it. Take it away from the West Australians.
Yes. The only adjustment I think that New South Wales can make is play more vertically,
Be half distance, guys. They're still taking it as the fifth game.
Okay, first and goal. Ball looks like it's about on the 2. There's a dive outside run. Great. He just came straight through the line and made the play.
Yeah, it was Marcus again. Marcus Delano. He's got experience at playing in Europe as well as playing for national teams and so on. So he's always, he's always a contributor on defence and came up with the goods on that play.
Tell you, that's what you want. You want those on those gut check plays. You want players that'll stand up and play some football, and that's exactly what happened. He did that then for New South Wales. He's
got good speed and he's got a good idea of pursuit angles. So he gets to the ball at the right angle, which is very important. Oh, we've got to pick the other way.
See you later.
Run. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that.
Oh, a huge block, ladies and gentlemen. Blue shirts all the way around the ball. Carrier, look left, look left, look left. Gee, was that could almost have been a block in the back right near the end there. A dumbass play, but we do have flags on the play. I probably shouldn't have said that. But I tell you, this is what we were talking about. New South Wales need to hang in, and when they get those opportunities, they need to take them.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happened.
Daniel Pearson, number 59, with a great intercept. He had great eyes for the ball there. Read the quarterback's eyes.
We have a dead ball.
We've got a delay of game because of the celebrating in the
Celebration, yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Seriously? In fact, that was one.
Turn it up.
I mean, for that, like Gronk out, the thing that Gronk out, he said he didn't like that, but he said it exactly what he said.
He said that it was raw, and that this sort of stuff needs to be allowed to be shown. I mean, how can that delay the game?
I don't know how it did.
They were on the ground for about 10 seconds.
So what do you say to the player that blocked in the back? There were 14 New South Welshmen, fit enough and strong. That's what I saw. The fact that there were so many blue shirts down the field 90 yards.
It says that they want to win, and it says that they want to be there for each other, you know.
Folks, as Pete Toss said earlier, strap yourselves in. We've got about 15 minutes to go in this game, and I don't think West Australia are over with. That was against the run of play. West Australia were in control right up until that play. So strap yourselves in.
Yeah.
I think that the guy carrying the down marker, there's a medical issue. He's had to run the 90 yards to get on the 3, and the guy that's got it now is the backup. He was the reserve.
The trombone.
Oh, it was a trombone. That was the one that was left. He was looking around downstairs for his trombone.
Yeah. Where's my bone? I remember him saying. I didn't. I think the down marker guy found it.
Was it in his back?
It was in his bag.
Bag. That's what I meant.
New South Wales 13, WA 4.
Has anyone notified the family of that guy that got destroyed on the sideline yet? Sorry.
No, he's already been buried.
So the 2-point conversion is unsuccessful. This is interesting. Do you think they not have a kicker? Or?
Maybe what we're not seeing is the wind. Maybe the wind down at ground.
Numbers. Remember, there's that rule, like if you're ahead by so many, if you're behind by so many.
That's 35 points. I never knew that.
So
well, 9 points ahead, but would 11 points ahead made a difference? I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, look, I don't know. Maybe there's a kicking issue, so...
Maybe that wind, we've had an incredible blow-up of wind just before half-time, so that may be influencing what's going on.
Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, you look at the flags, they're really up on the goalpost there, they're really fluttering.
Well, the goalposts at one end there, they've got to be at the top deviated about, is that like 2-3 metres? They've been pushed over that far?
They have, yeah. Okay, so a great result there for New South Wales. The defence coming up big there for them. Pearson with the intercept and the return, and he had the legs to get there. I think he was really... He was struggling a little there towards the end. Pearson on that intercept.
He got there. In fact, Miles Newman, just expert comments from the box, he actually has told us that just prior to the game, with the wind predicted, instead of having the single post for the goal post, they got a second one put in. Okay, West Australia with another great run back. That was good hard yards.
He got hit there, still kept
got hit and got about 4 yards after the contact.
4, was it?
Yep.
Well, for me it's 10, but I'm old.
Well, Honda once again has found a way to become a name in this game.
He always has. He's a good kid. Good family. Great family.
So we're doing something different for the MVP award. Actually, it wasn't Honda, I don't think. But we're doing something different for the MVP award. We're actually asking people to just send your SMSs in. The numbers on the bottom of the screen right now. Send your SMSs in. There's a couple.
The number is up now.
Right now, I think we've got like people like McCann and Honda certainly have got to be up there for New South Wales.
Well, now Pearson, I mean, with that pick, that puts him
absolutely. That's got to put him.
That puts him in the frame.
There's a number of people, but make sure you use that number down the bottom of your screen.
Oh, that's unusual. We've got a tight end playing defensive end now. Only in Australia.
What's that?
McCann's chipping in.
Is that Delana again making that play? He's everywhere today. Marcos. I think Marcos could be in the frame because he's been really good on run defence.
I think so.
Wales.
A couple of West Australians decided that lying on their stomachs is the best way to spend some of this second half.
No, I think it's a new thing, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Power yoga? But given the size of the gentleman involved,
I'm not going to say anything.
I think it's a great thing. Going to do it myself. Okay, second down and 11 or 10 and a half.
We've got a trips to the left and maybe a false start. Normally that's what that means, or delay a game or something.
What have we got?
I don't know what we've
No,
got.
just I think there was a pigeon flew through the line of scrimmage.
Actually, it was that injured one that the parachutist hit on the way down.
It could be that one.
Cue the seagulls.
See, number 11's made a few catches.
Once again, Marklu is doing his business. He's, you know, now that they've shortened up his routes and just give him the football, because I think he's got a big bust in him. He's an athlete. He's physically strong.
And he's about 4 foot taller than poor old cornerback there, Benny Lucas, you know. But Ben's doing a great job. He's always there making the tackle. Has made a couple of plays.
So at what point do you ask for the stop and go? Have they got, West Australia got the protection to run a stop and go on him, or hitch and go?
Well, I don't think so. Not right yet. I think maybe some play action might buy them some time and a bootleg. Because now they're sending it.
There's
goodness me.
I tell you, we were just talking.
Almost in the running for the MVP. Benny Lucas. I tell you what, he's everywhere.
And once again, McCann, just a slight variation on the play. Instead of stopping, he just ever so slightly drifted out because that safety's coming across. New South Wales look like they're in a much more preventative sort of attitude at the moment.
Yeah, I think that it's. You'd think that they would go vertical here on this corner, but
I think going vertical, what they in the first half they failed. They went away from what they were good at.
yeah, I think so. So we've got a balanced look here. I'll tell you one thing is that
Nice things, eh?
New South Wales are getting some pressure in there on the quarterback, which is forcing him to throw early or throw.
Tell you, on replay, if we get to see that on replay, Ben Gastrov right then had New South Wales in his face everywhere. He stuck to the job.
It was a great job.
Great pass, nicely weighted. That was a pass that in the first half they would have missed.
46 and running. Yep.
So there's only about 40 seconds left in this third quarter. It's gone very quickly, I think.
Quick game's always a sign of a good game.
It's always a fast game, yeah. Quick game's a fast game.
Second down, this is a long pass opportunity. And there it goes. And there's a
the
touchdown.
completion. And touchdown, Western Australia. So just what we were talking about, going vertical on one of these quarterbacks has worked for them, especially with the height differential. I think Western Australia's receivers are quite tall.
One of the things I've noticed over the years is that the southern states, including West Australia, because of their Aussie rules background, they are very good at getting up, catching the ball with their hands, compared to some of the New South Welshmen who really have to learn a new skill when it comes to receiving.
The only problem is they quite often kick it once they catch it.
Especially if they send it post-up.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a touchdown, bringing the game. So it's 11-13. If they go for 2, we can be all tied up here.
And we have a flag.
Flag on the play. They were going for 2 points.
False
so that
start.
False start.
False start on the offence.
6 is 10, not 12, 11.
Which is probably not a big deal in this situation when you're going for 2. I mean, whether you throw from the 3 or the 8, you know.
Oh, you know what? I know of a coach that has told his...
The 8 probably.
I was just about to say, I know of a coach who actually asks his player to do that because it gives more space and there's less people in the box.
True. And the spread struggles in short yardage, you know.
Sometimes people are fully disciplined.
99% of the time, yes.
So we got a trips look again. I think he's going to look at the single receiver and he...
Interesting. They didn't run the same play. Some coaches fall into that trap. There's a quick two-pointer. It's going to bring the score to 13-12 in favour of the Wolfpack team at the moment. So with 22 seconds left in the third quarter, we'll, during the break, if we get a chance, we'll play some of the excerpts from the Gronkowski interview.
Yeah, they're really good, actually. I recommend you stay around and listen to them.
It's only we got all day.
I suppose they've recalled Montana or something.
There's Brian got cut today. I hear he's playing for Queensland.
Yeah.
Tasmania's building a team around him. Depending where he goes.
So don't forget, folks, this is just the beginning of the Australian Gridiron League National Championships. We've got a host of other games. There's another game on today, actually, South Australia versus Victoria.
In Melbourne?
It's at Victoria, so it's in Melbourne, yeah. So not sure how that's progressing just yet. We haven't heard back from our sideline eye down there. But on the 21st of April, we've got Victoria at Queensland, New South Wales at South Australia. 28th of April, we've got South Australia at Queensland, Victoria at Western Australia.
I think in that, was it the USC band, is it are they going to that South Australia-Queensland game next?
No, they've got to get back for, they've got...
Darts Championship.
Yeah, they've got, they're appearing on Good Morning,
Oh, okay.
whatever that show is.
Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Well, if you've joined us live for the delayed telecast, I hope you've been enjoying yourself. We've got 1 quarter of football and 14 seconds to go.
This game is really on a precipice.
A precipice, no less. It could fall either way. It's interesting. In some ways, both teams have got a bit of a spring in their steps. New South Wales, I'd like to see a bit more enthusiasm as they get to the line of scrimmage. The West Australians seem to be very settled. They've gone back into that... That's a good, tough run, good, tough yards around the outside with not much space. But West Australia pressing up, putting pressure on the run.
A late flag on the play.
Interesting flag coming from the back judge.
You'd think it might be holding or possibly might be out of bounds. Something happened out of bounds, possibly.
He's going to wave it.
What is it? Do you know what it is?
You got shot one? I didn't quite think it. I thought that was the signal.
So Western Australia did something.
Well, the West Australians are walking back quite compliantly, so I guess whatever it is...
Waste by 7 black.
A block below the waist, there we go.
Oh, okay. A block below
Once
the
again,
waist.
it's one of those rules that protect the players.
Yeah.
The players, when you think about it, there's only been 3 of those rules being enforced despite over 100 plays of football.
And Jake, that's why they wear those knee pads.
At the back of their knees.
So once again, we've got this lateral passing game. It seems to me, doesn't seem to put pressure on the second level of the Raiders defence. So
It's almost like that pass out there worked once as almost like a trick play, but it's been adjusted to, and it's not been there for the rest of the game.
2nd and 12 on the 36 for the center.
Okay, so that's the end of the quarter. So the score, once again, is 13-12, the way of the New South Wales Wolfpack. We're going to change sides, and over the next minute or so...
They're going to... West Australia's going to play for New South Wales.
Well, the way they're playing, I think West Australia, I'd like them having the blue jerseys on at the moment.
So, so this is a really close game, 1 point in it, obviously, and a lot closer result than we had last time these two states met. It was over by now.
Okay, so we'll just go back to that Gronkowski interview, that replay of that interview. Sorry, what? You haven't got it? Oh, you can't play it? What, you can or no?
We'll see if we can go to it a bit later because
We'll try and get to that later in the game during a timeout or something. There's some great excerpts.
it's worth seeing.
Second down and 11 yards. New South Wales with the ball. A lot of intent in their stances right now. West Australians with the steal of a Raider.
Oh, Mitch is saying something.
Well, I tell you what, there's a flag in that, probably holding.
Got to be, I'd say.
But I tell you what, Mark Shoebridge, I don't know if you noticed that, but when your quarterback's out there blocking in front of your running back, you know they're willing. They want to win.
Yeah.
Number 12.
So that was a hold there by number 12 for New South Wales, who is Chris Ravalch. Or Ravlik, I'm sorry. Just the sun, just got the sun come through the window then, just couldn't quite see that. So unfortunately, yeah, hold there, but...
Tell you, off that play, the way that they've committed to that play with the run and the way West Australia flowed laterally, a reverse off that would be very nice.
Give me a counter or give me play action.
Yes.
Please.
Oh, look, I'd beg for a play action pass at this stage.
Counter trap.
Going back to the Redskins' old days. Counter tray was the call in the box. Yeah. Here comes the wind behind New South Wales. Will it get them home?
That was the play. But we've got to put it into his chest. You know, if he puts that ball into his chest, you know, that's close.
That's the problem,
down right there.
Absolutely. And having said that, why was he throwing it to triple coverage?
Well, when you throw the ball 3 times in a game, it's pretty hard to be good at it, right?
Yes.
That's so strong. It's a stroke.
Yeah.
Full bird. Oh, get there. Hey, no.
Well, 4th down, New South Wales will be punting with the wind at their backs. They just have to pop the ball up in the air. They don't want to
do the work.
I think I'd be looking to kick it out because if it goes dead, they'll get the ball back at the 20, which looks
That's
like...
exactly what happened. I think he was trying to chip it to the
Do you know,
side.
have you ever made a mistake up in the commentating box?
Never.
No, I've never made one either.
I've been blessed.
What's that number for mistakes again?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget that number for mistakes. Give us and look, put your comments down the bottom there. Underneath, you'll have a look at the bottom of the screen right now that you're looking at. Down under there, please put your comments there if you've got any critique or anything you'd like to let us know about. Please do that. I'm not going to read it, but do it. Someone else might be keen on reading it.
Read, rinse and repeat.
Well, our sponsors today, Concubine Cups, they are makers of athletic cups. They come in extra small, medium, large, and their most highly ordered size, extra large, which comes with the extra small in the packet, and they'll be supplying $250. $250. Number one, once again, Honda went head-to-head then. That's football.
And stood there. Made the play.
West Australia on a coach killer once again, those holding penalties. That just goes to show the desperation of both teams. New South Wales just getting through, West Australia not wanting to give up.
Got to send out a big shout out to the local team here, the Wollongong Mustangs, who have done a fantastic job here of preparing the field along with Super Turf line marking systems. Fantastic jobs. The field looks great.
Only ever played here once, lost 77-0 in the opening against the Seahawks many years ago.
Wow.
Not that it scarred me.
No.
I thought that's when they took you off field.
Yeah, no, I couldn't go on. Although I did smack this huge guy.
Nice little move there after the catch.
Little outrun. Very, very simply got the extra yards after catch, which was fantastic. But it still only brings up 2nd down and 12, so there's a lot of yards to get.
This wind is really going to play havoc with the passing game for this last quarter. So,
Which coach would you prefer to be at this stage, Peter?
I think Don Shula.
Don Shula? Oh, we've got snorts in the commentating box right now.
Undefeated season.
looking at a pass play, a bit
Well, that was
wayward.
just a little off target.
Yeah, that was the quarterback's fault. If you want to break it down, his lead foot, as he brought his shoulder around, he started his throwing action before he pointed his foot, and his foot was actually going exactly where the ball ended up.
Been thrown with his hand.
Oh, that's the problem. Oh, you're going to get technical now.
No, that's true. It's very important. That's why it's called football.
Yes.
Because your feet
are
are the important part of the whole game. And it doesn't matter what position you play on the field, whether you're an offensive lineman particularly,
Yes.
D lineman, it all starts with your feet, and that's how it got the name football over 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
So what was it like back then?
Look, it was a different world, I'll tell you. We used to ride a horse to the game. And a completion
I tell
there, I
you,
think, was he in?
That I tell you, they're
Yes,
ruling
they're
that
calling
a
him.
catch. We got a Blues player down in the middle of the field, and he's writhing around. I tell you, that was a very late. He held the ball up for quite a long time before he released it, looking for that out route to be run.
I think they're going to go to a replay on this one,
Going to the replay.
just to see whether or not he caught that in bounds. So if we look at the replays,
Only 1 foot needed, though.
Yeah,
It's not the NFL.
boy, I'd hate to call that, wouldn't you?
I'd hate to call that. There is a flag on the ground, and the West Australians are going back anyway.
Right, so, okay.
3rd and 32.
Well, that means that they don't need to go to the replay now because they've got a flag on the play.
New South Wales player down,
Can we see who that
getting
is?
some treatment.
It's a guy with a helmet.
Yeah, guy with a helmet.
Those other guys there are helping out. Those other guys there standing around, are they creating a windbreak, are they?
Well, the officials doing a good job getting into the camera's view. They have to get on TV somehow.
Oh, that's good. It looks like he's going to be up.
You know what? The interesting thing, Peter, today you've got to, even though the game's still got 10 minutes to go, the officials is something that we really haven't talked about all game, and that's a sign of a
He's
great
going
crew.
the wrong sideline. Is that what's supposed to happen, or is he going?
Yeah, well, is that for an HIA possibly? But
Oh, okay. So that's Marcos. That's Marcos Delano. He's a star on defence, so they're going to miss him.
they are going to miss him. But yeah,
Defence.
going back to those officials though, if you watch a game, enjoy a game, and you're not talking about them, they've clearly done a good job.
Look, they do a great job. You know, I mean, you can't have a game without them, but it's not very good.
It's not.
It's called scrimmage.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The situation right now, we've got one of the New South Wales players trying to get his boys up. It's 3rd down and a long, long way.
90 for New South Wales. Tuyul.
New South Wales are keen. I'm looking for a pass here, a very long pass.
That they've gone underneath to Honda,
tell
which
you.
is a good option, but he's immediately wrapped up.
That was a great play. That was
on the
a
play. Great job there.
that was a very good play, and one needed. I tell you, you get a Honda out in the open field, and he can
Mate,
go anywhere.
Suzuki, Honda, any of them.
Any Jeeps?
Is there a Jeep? I think there is. One of the running backs was a Jeep.
Is a Jeep.
Was that a Jeep shot?
I know, you can hire us anyway. We're back on Thursday.
So it's 4th and forget it, I think.
4th and forget it?
I'd say, wouldn't you say?
No, go for it. Go for it, coach. Come on.
I wonder if that coach that never punts,
fake?
I wonder
Yeah.
if he would go for it in this situation.
Okay, punting, I tell you, look at the wind stop that football. It just gives you an idea, and
Just goes to show how important special teams is.
absolutely. I tell you what, there is a ruling. The ball really needs to be not just a hand put on it, it needs to be secured on the ground.
possession of
Yes.
by a player.
And that wasn't done then. The New South Wales player was pretty smart on that.
Actually.
They changed the rule about last year. If everyone just leaves it alone for about 3 seconds, we rule it dead.
Oh, okay. Look, having Miles Newman in the box, we just got expert comments since he's saying they've changed the rule just last year. If you leave the ball for 3 seconds, it is automatically blown dead. So great having the expert comments. In fact, he's writing most of the lines Peter and I are saying
We're
up
just
here.
reciting them. So you can blame Miles for it.
Unless they're good, then they're ours.
You've been saying that for bloody years. New quarterback.
counter.
Oh, there we go.
and a
That
fumble.
was, counter or crossbuck almost.
And a fumble. I mean, it's the little things, you know. It's the little things in football.
I'm not sure the New South Wales players quite expected to be in this position. I know that they expected a good showing, but it's theirs to win.
Like I say, you know, unless you're firing a shot in anger, you don't really know, you know. So today, for a lot of these guys, their first time on the Wolfpack. So they're learning, you know, how to play at this level. So, and understanding the importance of ball security, especially in this offence.
I think they'll gain a lot of confidence with what they have done on the ground.
For sure, yep.
There we go. No, the ball was stopped already. The forward progress was stopped. A tackle for Mark Shoebridge has got himself a tackle in the game. Unusual for a quarterback to do that. It's a really important thing. It looks to me like the dive track is not the same on every play. You know what? Yeah.
All right. So it's very hard to be, to have consistency if your dive track is sometimes in the maybe the one gap or the A gap, next time B gap.
So whose responsibility is that? Is that the running back or the quarterbacks? Coaches.
Yeah, well, and, ultimately the quarterback. The running back, the quarterback shouldn't have to look for the running back in this offense because it should be automatic.
There. Yep.
And of course, we do have a new guy in there, so that's probably what it is.
Voynia?
Voynia, yeah. Voynia, the quarterback, is, he hasn't had the reps, so.
Isn't that a version of mine?
Sorry?
Beyond you?
Yeah, I don't know. 1 point ahead.
So I'm not sure whether they're sharing that around or whether there's an injury to Shuey. But it makes it very difficult for a new quarterback to come in, especially with the preciseness you need with your footwork by the quarterback to mesh, with the running back. It's really important that it's someone that's good.
There we go. The kicker's got his distance right, and also is that in the back?
Outside shoulder. We got to contain.
Outside shoulder containment. There's something new for you out there.
So, that's just interesting about that, the running game for New South Wales. How, a different quarterback, even a different running back, different fullback can make a massive difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what's his point of attack? What's his aiming point?
You know what I'm liking being up here in the box is being able to second guess the coaches without knowing anything about what's going on the sideline.
I've got no idea. I mean, I normally watch baseball, so...
Yeah, we do.
Throw down to them.
Yeah, we do. Sideline, I told him.
Yep, before you say it, yes, we do have a sideline reporter, but just before the game, a drum, I can't believe it, a drum came out of nowhere.
Snare.
Yeah, a snare drum. Straight, took his head straight off.
He got taken by the snare.
What was that? Yeah, that was a trick play.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting screen type of play. Is it some sort of screen?
I don't know, but it's not going to win any beauty awards, that play.
There is a flag. Someone's done something silly.
I wonder who, if ever, anybody. It looked like the left guard was the left tackle was the only guy that knew what to do on that, and his job was nothing. He set up and sealed.
I think
Oh, personal
it's a
foul.
personal foul against New South Wales.
Yeah. Automatic first down. Wow.
So this is not a good time to be losing your head, is it?
It's not.
You're ahead by 1 point.
You got them in the hole, first down.
You've got a chance to make plays, and you go and give it away like that.
And the fact that they're running plays like that suggests that they're feeling the pressure. The West Australians have come a long way to feel a lot of
They
pressure.
just hand them a first down. That's not very smart.
And that's not on the coaches, that's the players out in the field.
Absolutely. Looking this way, once again, the release underneath to Honda. Once he gets the ball, he's a danger man. Yards after contact, yards after catch.
Wonderful yards. He zigzagged, he looked for the green grass. In fact, I've just heard some news that Honda has just been signed up by Victor to supply the lawnmower engines, the way that he cut across that grass then.
He's something else. If you give him some open space, he'll make you pay. So, yeah, that's a good attack.
Flags on the play.
They're attacking the depth as well as the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, the line of scrimmage.
USC, I need to hear this one.
I tell you what.
It's getting a little bit chippy out there, I think.
I think both teams are trying to see who can lose this game the easiest way. Because at the moment,
Just a minute, guys.
at the moment, the players just are. The players are losing it for both their sides. That shows how much feeling there is in the game.
It is. However, it shows how distracted they can be from their job. I mean, their job is to play football, right?
That's it.
The debating, that's on a different day.
Okay, first down and one. So I think we're at 25 yards now. So I'm looking run. he does throw some trickiness into that. Like, maybe that little jet release. Look at that, wide open.
Wow, we have absolutely no coverage.
New South Wales blew that.
Coverage right there.
New South Wales went into two deep coverage, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending which way you look at it, the wind held the ball up and blew it back.
We had two people in the flat, two defenders in the flat, and no one out here on this edge. So maybe they need to talk about their coverage a little, sort that out.
Yeah, being in such a prevent position at second down and 25, they probably haven't practiced this too much in practice.
Second down and shitloads.
Is that a technical term, Mark?
Yep.
Can you use that on the field when you're running ASAP?
Second down and Scheisenlords from the German referee.
Quarterback drops back again, shows us.
There we go.
Great job.
That was good football. A good route, good catch, good tackle, good football. Good all-round football there.
I think football was the winner, and that was Christopher Snag coming up with a big play there.
Christopher Stagg, I
He's
tell
been a
you,
great player for a long time.
for many, many years. I think he's 58 years old now.
58 or 59?
59. Has he had his birthday this year yet?
No, not yet.
Just a kid.
Just a whippersnapper.
His grandkids are pretty good too, and the juniors, I'll tell you.
Third and shitloads.
I hope he sees this.
He's been a great player for a long time, Chris Snag, and made a great play there.
Third down and I think about 24 yards here.
5-0-0, mate.
Looking for a prevent.
This is a sort of quarters look here by New South Wales.
By quarters, coach means that they've dropped four deep guys back. They're prepared to give him 10, 15, 20 yards, but not break. And that's exactly what happened. Quarterback looked downfield. There was nothing there. He went to his release, but the release still had 20-odd yards to get to make ends meet. Probably would have helped if he caught the ball.
This will bring up fourth and a long way.
So once again, the game with 4 minutes 21 seconds and running is on an absolute knife edge. Don't leave us. If we get a timeout, we'll try and get some of that Gronkowski interview to you.
And look, put your predictions down. Who do you think's going to win?
I think the team that doesn't lose.
No, I mean, put it down underneath. Who do you think's going to win this game?
Oh, that's a Jamie. It's right in front of you.
Oh,
Wow, what a... I tell you, that is a kahuna play like
That
I've
was an
ever
interesting
seen.
kick return.
I saw that ball just stop.
we got a flag.
He's an interesting young man, that returner, and it's funny about great athletes that back themselves.
Say again, Matt.
Sometimes they can be coach killers, and other times they're geniuses. So you got to admire the fact that the guy's willing to back himself. I think it's great.
I think it shows the sort of confidence that's in this Wolfpack team at the moment. The fact that he was prepared to do that nearly killed me up here in the commentating box. But you know what? He got the yards. He did look after the football. They are ultimately, after looking at the situation, it's going to be a turnover on downs. New South Wales will have the ball on about the 30 when they set up. No, a little bit less. And then I'll bring up first down and 10 with 3 minutes 55 to go.
Taken it because it's the USC. USC on who? 36. 36 blue.
So we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct call against number 36 for New South Wales.
So we're here for first and 10. And the 13.
Okay, normally a 15-yard penalty, but because the ball was inside the 30, it's a half distance to the goal line penalty.
355. New South Wales ball.
Ball.
And I think the quarterback has managed to get the ball back, so
I don't think he wanted to get it back because he had a whole heap of palookas, like, vibble vobble, like a jelly cake landing on top of him.
interesting call though to call that pass play in that situation.
New South Wales have got to control the clock.
Yes, absolutely.
We need it. We can, with 3, maybe 4 first downs, we can run the clock out.
Or they can, yeah.
They'll need to use all their timeouts and have nothing left. So tactically, I'm already starting to think about the end game.
Yeah, I think we've got to think about first down right now, right here.
What you're thinking about? You're at the pub already?
Sorry?
You're at the pub already?
Yeah. There's that counter.
So the Western Australians are dominating the line of scrimmage, or the line of scrimmage right now. And I think it's a point where they need to take charge. I mean,
I think they do.
line off your own 10
Well,
yards.
you know what? I think that, look, they've got themselves in the whole New South Wales, I think try and grind out some metres on the ground, let that clock run out, punt with the wind at your back, and just go for ground position and get defence back in the game. That's, at the moment, I wouldn't like to see them take a risk at an intercept at this point in the game.
It's third down and 18, 20? Probably third and 18 or so.
Yeah. So New South Wales, third down, risky, big play. See what the coach calls. Does he go for it? Does he run the clock out and just look for the punt and field position?
Nice.
Or does he make a break?
There we go.
Good run.
Nice
Good run
football.
outside there.
He
Good
did run
block
out. Probably an opportunity to stay in the field and keep that clock running.
Big Easy gives you an edge there. Good running to the outside on a sweep play.
So that
At
brings
least
up.
gives them a bit of room, right?
It gives them room to punt. 4th down and 8. Let's get that ball up into the wind and as far back. We got Vince.
Of course, the issue is the snap, right? So
The issue is the snap. It was a problem last time. Villicano is back. Gee, you could imagine your fingers slipping onto that
can you
football
imagine
at
the
centre.
pressure of being a long snapper in this situation.
Perfect snap.
And
Bit of a chip kick.
the kick is a little different.
Okay, well, I think the game's going to
New
come down to
South
this
Wales
series.
all to do here. So they didn't get a great clearance. Western Australia has fantastic field position. And with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left, this is there to be won right now. Won or
Absolutely.
lost right
And the
now.
interesting thing about this game is more than any other game that you can play on earth, in American football, the coaches can have more impact on a game than in any other sport, especially in this position. So it'll be interesting to see both, well, especially what the West Australia coaches do, but also what the New South Wales coaches respond in time.
Well, I think they would have a lot of confidence, Western Australia. They've been able to move the ball a bit.
I haven't seen the statistics, but I'd like to think that West Australia's numbers and first downs way outweigh the New South Welshmen.
I think so, yeah.
The scoreboard's going to suggest something different.
They're just adjusting the clock, are they?
Yeah, we let it slip for a second.
2 minutes 15 to go.
So, just over 2 minutes left in the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the game's all about. 1 point in it. New South Wales lead by 1 point.
Adrenaline going up in the coach's box, let me tell you. The West Australians, they need to control the ball. The New South Wales people, they need to tackle players inside the field to play to keep that clock running.
I can tell you it comes down to who wants it most in the box. Right between tackle and tackle, right here, right now. In the box is where the game's played now. Even though we're going to talk about pass plays and stopping the clock and all that, the game's won in the box. How much time has the quarterback got?
Okay, very, very good game management. Number 10, I think, Hegney, that's his first pass or second pass he's caught of the day. He did the smart thing, got the first down, got the ball out, stopped the clock. 2 minutes 10 to go.
For Martin Bellata, number 77, and number 90, to you to be able to put some pressure on the quarterback here, as well as some pressure up the middle by number
Ball on the
23.
23. Sorry. Ball on the 23, first down and 10 to West Australia.
Looking for pressure from their D-line. They got to the quarterback and just got to him to put pressure on him, and he overthrew that one. That was a shot up the seam. Which is
they had a go, yeah. They certainly had a go. Outside swim move by the defensive end of New South Wales was enough to put the pressure on the quarterback, overthrowing the football to his target. Second down and 10. Clock stops on an incomplete pass.
So I know we're going to be looking at these receivers and DBs and safeties and everything, and looking for results, but it all stems from what happens right here, right in front of you at the line of scrimmage.
Let's have a look at that engine room. Who's huffing? Who's puffing?
I'm just saying that.
They're coming.
And that pressure, well, it could have been a misread, or it could have been a confusion there between the receiver and the quarterback. Quarterback was maybe looking for a corner route, and
Got a different read.
yeah, and number 11 there looked like he hitched up inside.
Okay, bringing up third down. The New South Welshmen very, very quiet on the sideline. The West Australians equally as quiet. I don't know. I totally agree with your words. At who wants it? I think at the moment, by noise, the West Australians want it.
Tulu, number 90, trying to pump up the sideline for New South Wales.
Pass play.
Late blitz here by the linebacker.
Nice and high, and
one
PI. It looks like PI.
Will it be pass interference? Even though the man was turned back looking at the ball, is he going to get a pass interference call?
He was playing the football. He got his hand to the football.
This will be a very interesting call, because I don't believe that was pass interference, but
No, there was contact. It was contact with the defender pushed off the receiver.
Got word through. Odell Beckham is going to be our halftime guest at the next New South Wales Queensland Sun Devil game. Not live in the studio or anything like that. That's just ridiculous.
So the flag is waved off.
The flag has been waved
And
off.
even though Miles did say it was pass interference, I believe that was a good call.
It was a great call. The referees would never have made that call.
DB was playing the ball. His eyes were into the ball, and it was a great call.
So that's forced
But then again,
the
Miles and I
Raiders.
have disagreed before.
Well, that brings up fourth down and 10. The Raiders have called an obvious timeout. They needed to stop that clock at that point. And
Game is right here, right now.
this is fourth down. Absolutely. I've been in those situations. We spoke to Mark Medrano downstairs at halftime. I remember he threw a halfback option pass to me, fourth down, last play of a game. And believe me, I have still got nightmares over that ball floating in the air towards me.
Everything happens in slow motion.
God, there's a name from the past.
Yeah, he was downstairs. Is he? Yeah, no, he threw his ball halfback option pass, and he's throwing it, and he had to throw it high and over. And so it was in the air for about half an hour, and I'm waiting for it because I couldn't even run under it.
Western Australia ready for play. However, New South Wales, it is a timeout, so they could use the full timeout to come back and position themselves.
Either a 30-second or 2 minutes.
It looks like they're going for a field goal. Do you reckon this is a fake?
I think they're going to have a go, I tell you. Against the win, West Australia, clearly that shows they don't have the confidence to get the yardage.
Well, I think it's a good call. I think that's what you have to do. But yeah, they've got to get pressure outside.
The trees have stopped blowing. The kick is in the air, and it is
good.
A good kick. New South Wales players are on the ground, and I tell you,
that's a great kick there by the Western Australian Raiders.
For the whole of the last,
3 points for the Western Australian Raiders.
Still a minute 30. There is time left on the game. For the whole of this game, the Raiders have been behind, and I tell you, you only have to be in front when that final whistle goes. So great work, good composure. The wind stopped. Everything came together to get that kick.
It did. And, it's like we talked about at the beginning. Special teams are everything, right?
Yep.
So, when you're, if you're a young player there and you're practicing, just remember that special teams win or lose games.
A few years ago, I did a calculation of all the Super Bowl games and the special team yardage. 28% of the yardage, and I forget how many points was scored by special teams in Super Bowls.
Yes, and I can tell you that Coach Dan Hawkins at our Future Stars camp said that the study's been made where special teams account for 19 yards every time you have a special teams kick return or whatever. So it just shows you that's how many offensive plays do you have that give you 19 yards? You know.
Okay, well, I'm looking for a deep kick in New South Wales. They've got 1:31. Have they got 3 timeouts? 3 timeouts.
Yes, they've got some 3.
Yeah, look at that. The wind has died.
Return on this. It's a touchback.
Ball on the 20. It'll be with 1:31 to go. New South Wales will have the ball. Let's see what they've got in the bag. So
this is interesting now because that clock control offense doesn't work now.
no.
Right, so we're not controlling anything. We're trying to score fast, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they've practiced for this situation and what they've got prepared for it.
And also, if they get a couple of big yardage plays where they get down, do they slow the game, the tempo up just long enough? Do they have the confidence to do that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. So it looks like Jordan Nakora has come into the game.
Who's quarterback? Is Shuey back out there?
What number is it?
4, I think Shuey is.
No, it's 2.
Ah.
So Jordan Nakora from the Central Coast Sharks comes in at quarterback. The last dying seconds of the game, he's got the chance to win the game here. He tucks the ball.
Quarterback keep. He needs to get to the outside. He needs to get out of bounds.
He's got outside.
Well, he had some blockers in front of him, but I don't think he took advantage. The clock has stopped. Is that through a timeout, or did he get to the sideline?
He must have, they have to spot the ball. He must have got out of bounds.
Yeah.
Call timeout.
Oh, they called timeout, did they?
Yeah, call time out.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so New South Wales have called a timeout. So, it's all there to win. If they, are they good enough? That's what it comes down to.
I think West Australia sat into a bit of a prevent, which makes sense.
Absolutely. It's important, though, that these New South Wales players understand how important it is to get out of bounds.
Absolute sideline protocol. And West Australians need to also equally understand to keep them in.
Exactly. And making an extra yard is not going to help you right now. Time is everything. Time is gold right here.
1:24 to go on the clock. 13-15, the score in the way of the West Australian Raiders over the Wolfpack. Okay, they're counting the box up. Too deep as I've seen them all game, with
Still,
a big cushion on this outside, so maybe they're going quads.
They're not absolutely
They're leaning backwards.
preventing, are they?
They aren't. They're not quite there. They're still confident. Little out pattern here. Catch the ball to the slot. Have they got 5 in the backfield? It's a penalty. They missed that. Or maybe they didn't.
This is a dead play. It's coming back.
Yeah, it's a dead play.
Nakora runs at the ball and tucks the ball, runs over 24 there.
Well, I think we got flags on the play. You do need to have 7. People talk about 5 in the backfield, but the actual rule is you need to have 7 players on the line of scrimmage. And so what happened is one of the slot receiver and the receiver on this side.
So that unfortunately just means that people don't know what they're doing. So that's a good thing. I mean, that's something that they can go back and work on at practice.
Absolutely. And something, look, you know what? I think in this game, no matter what happens in the next minute 20, New South Wales have won this game, for themselves.
Yeah.
To themselves, they've shown that they can play football.
They've advanced from last time that the state teams played. They've got, a good roster. They've got good players, good coaches. It's just the little things. You know,
Yes.
It's like we always say. It's always the little
Rookie errors. West Australia, they've probably played their hardest game, being an overnight travel to New South Wales, play and then go home. 51 seconds on the clock. Good pickup, needs to get out. Come back to the ball. Throw it deep. Throw it deep.
Get out!
So once again, quarterback doesn't get out of bounds and doesn't stop the clock.
Look, he had a player deep. He had a player wide open before he hit that line of scrimmage. Needed that awareness, but he also failed dismally. One of the big mistakes that he made there, folks, he didn't get out. So for the youngsters out there, when you're in this position, you've got to get out. You've got to stop the clock.
Conserve time. Yep.
Waste of time out.
He could well have got. He could well have got that first down if he'd pinned his ears back and However, that's why we play the game, right? So, did you hear that guy yelling, "Get out!" at the back of the stall here on that last play?
No, because I was yelling too. Yeah, we don't bleed blue and white.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this game, there's just 39 seconds left in the game. New South Wales third and very short to get a first down. However, what they're really after is about 80 yards away or 70 yards away. And that is a touchdown or at least a chance at a field goal, maybe.
It's interesting. Twice today, though, New South Wales has scored from long distance.
They have. They need that magic tip play that they had early on.
Throw into triple coverage with a bump off cover. The players coming through.
Tip drill. So it comes down to the next two plays. So third down and possibly a fourth down. And we've got 39 seconds left on the clock.
I think somebody's put Vaseline on the microphone here. It's slipping out of my hands from the sweat in my palms. Run out this time. Will he get out? You know what? You can
sweet play designed to get out of bounds, and
on that particular play, though, I'm going to give that to the West Australians.
Absolutely.
Outside shoulder containment.
Play.
We've talked about that several times today. They've got the message for their guys.
Play. They got outside. They forced the ball, which
Absolutely.
is what you want your defence to do. Force it, especially in this situation. Stop him from getting out of bounds.
So it seems like only 2 minutes ago in game time that we were saying this is it for the West Australians.
We were, yeah.
They came up with the goods. New South Wales suddenly are in the same position with 29 seconds on the clock.
New South Wales just burnt the last time out.
Yeah, and New South Wales have used their last time out. Well, we want to thank everyone that's been involved in putting today's game on. Yeah, Gridiron Australia, New South Wales Gridiron, or Gridiron New South Wales, the Officials Association, and the guys doing the camera work, and particularly the volunteers who have come down and helped out, to do the change and do the looking after the field, and also the canteen. I had a pulled beef sandwich at half time. I have to say it was very, very
Sorry,
good.
you pulled what?
Exactly. I thought he said beef. I had one at half time, and it was beautiful. So thank you to everyone here down at Coral. Regardless of the outcome of this game, I think it's been a good day for New South Wales. They've started to claw their way back into contention.
A good day for PT and The Voice too, having their debut on air today, and we hope you've got those entries in. We'll see if we can get that entry as a pick comes off for the West Australians.
Right there. And in fact,
roughing the passer, I tell you, this could be a critical. There's two flags on the ground.
Talk about
the critical.
We were just saying about it in the other instance before.
Exactly. The penalties declined. It was holding first out of the West Australians. Unless the quarterback's got a bruise on his knee, he's probably going to use it. So
a fantastic job there by Western Australia. Worthy winners today. I think that they took their opportunities when they came. They struggled obviously early on, and didn't look pretty at times. But they took advantage of the opportunities that came along, and that's what New South Wales didn't do, I believe.
Absolutely. I think you'll find that the numbers showed that West Australia were the dominant team right across the board.
They were. But I think New South
Wales,
were a good-looking side.
they will come from this. They will go back, regroup, and I tell you, they've got a lot to be proud about, the New South Wales team.
I tell you what, that young fellow, that cornerback, 27, Ben Lucas for New South Wales, he had a great day.
Absolutely.
Today. So
I think Brant Honda for me.
Oh yeah,
He was the one with the motor.
yeah, absolutely.
He just
He
seemed
had
to.
the wheels all day, didn't he?
He seemed to do that.
But I think West Australia deserved this win, and New South Wales deserved to make it a close game. I think
Absolutely.
that's what it comes down to.
Just for those entries, though, to win that $250 voucher. As a knee is taken, make sure that you just look at the phone number on the bottom of the screen, get those entries in. We'll give you 1 hour after the telecast of the live delayed broadcast in order for you to do that. But from PT and the Voice, down from Wollongong, we say thank you and
Good night.